Let's jump right in. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we are looking at the ultimate blueprint. We're talking about a roadmap that literally transforms you from an absolute beginner into someone who builds real, working generative AI systems. We're breaking down the complete generative AI syllabus for 2026, and honestly, I am so excited to guide you through this.
Look, if terms like transformers, RAG, and fine-tuning make your head spin, trust me, you are not alone. Sometimes reading through AI course pages can feel like trying to decipher a totally foreign language, but today, we're handing you the decoder ring. We're going to cut through the noise, decode those buzzwords, and show you the exact sequence you need to follow to actually master this stuff.
The easiest way to wrap your head around the core difference is this. Traditional AI models analyze data that already exists. Think of it like your inbox flagging an incoming email as spam. But generative AI? That creates entirely new content from scratch. It actually writes that email for you, or generates a brand new image, or spits out a block of code. Grasping that basic distinction is step one.
So our roadmap today covers 4 absolutely crucial layers. 1. Foundations. 2. Core machine intelligence. 3. Gen AI specialization. And 4. Real-world application. Let's get into it.
Starting off with part 1, foundations. This is the groundwork. Just take a look at the sheer scope of this curriculum. It moves logically from high-level context straight into the Python programming you need to actually connect to AI APIs. Now, you don't need to be some master software engineer here, but Python really is the native language of generative AI. You've got to be able to write clean code to call these models, manage your environments, and process the responses you get back. Skipping this layer, that is exactly why so many people hit frustrating roadblocks later on.
Next up, we have machine learning fundamentals. Now, do not panic. You don't need a PhD in advanced calculus to get started, but understanding how machines actually learn from data, that's non-negotiable. If you don't grasp things like supervised learning or how to evaluate if a model is actually accurate, you're going to be flying completely blind when you start trying to generate complex text or images.
Moving right along to part 2, core machine intelligence. Think of this as the engine.
So, deep neural networks are the engine, sure. But the transformer architecture, that is the true star of the show. Transformers use this brilliant concept called attention to basically decide which words matter the most when predicting the very next word in a sentence. It's the exact underlying magic powering ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini. Okay, let's bust another major buzzword while we're at it. Tokenization. AI doesn't actually read words the way you and I do. Instead, it breaks text down into these tiny pieces, kind of like puzzle pieces of syllables, and processes them as numbers. When you pair that concept with context windows, which basically dictate exactly how many puzzle pieces the AI can remember at one time, suddenly, the whole mechanics of these models start making total sense.
All right, into part 3, Gen AI specialization. This is where the magic actually happens.
Listen, if large language models are the engine, well, prompt engineering is how you grab the steering wheel. It's not just politely asking the AI to do something for you, it is a highly technical, repeatable skill. By using advanced techniques like chain of thought, where you literally force the model to show its reasoning steps, you can get reliable, top-tier results every single time.
But a true builder is fluent across multiple platforms. Your 2026 toolkit requires you to know exactly when to pull out ChatGPT for fast coding, when to lean on Claude for deep, careful document reasoning, or when Gemini is your best bet for mixing video and text. Add in Microsoft Copilot for daily productivity, and you've got the whole package. It's all about picking the absolute right tool for the specific job.
And that brings us to what is arguably the defining trend of 2026, agentic AI. This is a game changer. It's where AI stops just politely answering your questions and starts actually doing the work. You'll use frameworks like LangChain to build autonomous systems that can plan tasks, use digital tools, and execute multi-step jobs completely on their own.
Think of an AI agent like a highly capable digital employee. First, it reads your question. Then it realizes it needs more info, so it searches your database. Maybe it calls a calculator API to crunch some numbers, and finally it hands you a perfectly completed answer. It routes its own decisions and solves complex problems with barely any supervision. The output potential here is just massive.
Now here's a massive real-world headache. What happens if the model doesn't know your company's private data? Or worse, what if it just makes things up and hallucinates? Enter RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. RAG is brilliant because it feeds the AI your specific private documents right before it generates an answer. So how do you actually build that? It's like a pipeline. First, you literally chop your documents into smaller chunks. Then you convert that text into numerical vectors. We call those embeddings, and you store them in a vector database, like Pinecone. Now, when someone asks a question, the AI retrieves only the exact relevant chunks to form its answer. It gives you this traceable, highly accurate, enterprise-grade AI directly from your own knowledge base.
But hey, sometimes RAG just doesn't quite cut it, and that's exactly where fine-tuning comes into play. Instead of just handing the AI a document to read, you're actually training the model further on your own customized data. It natively learns your brand's specific tone of voice, your industry jargon, and your unique domain rules right out of the box.
All right, part 4, real-world application. Time to build the penthouse.
A truly modern curriculum has to look ahead to the 2026 horizon. This means multimodality. Seamlessly mixing text, audio, and video is now just the baseline. It means mastering dynamic orchestration, where your system automatically routes the easy tasks to cheaper models and the hard, complex tasks to deep thinking ones. And crucially, it means wrapping your head around on-device AI and strict safety frameworks like the EU AI Act.
The ultimate payoff of this entire blueprint? A killer portfolio of real-world projects. Theory is great, but projects are what actually stick. By the end of this curriculum, you're going to be building custom business chatbots, RAG-based assistants that can instantly digest hundreds of PDFs, autonomous AI agents, and multi-model content apps. These projects are the ultimate proof to any employer or client that your generative AI skills are practical and job-ready. So the path from feeling totally overwhelmed by AI buzzwords to confidently building your own enterprise-grade systems, it's right here. When you follow a structured map, the impossible suddenly becomes entirely achievable. You've got the blueprint now. The only question left is, what are you going to build first?